Okay, this is our fourth lecture in the macro series. Today we are going to cover two topics. One of them is finding mean, standard deviation, coefficient of variation, etc. in a panel data. Specifically, we are interested using a macro for finding these, and it makes more sense because if the panel data has missing values, then we cannot simply do the normal stuff of MS Excel like copying and dragging things. Okay, so for this exercise, we shall use data from our website. The data link is provided on the screen here. We shall go to lecture 18 and link 3 on the website. So I'm going there at the moment. This is lecture 18 and I'm using the third link on this. So this is the third one, the one that I have just highlighted on the screen. So we shall click on this and it will download for VLOOKUP 3 file. In this file, we shall move on to the income statement sheet, and here we are going to find the mean of net income for each firm. So let's say the highlighted data here is for the first firm, that is Abbott, and we want to find the mean of all these values for this firm in column H. So let me highlight this column, and this is the mean of income. Okay, let me show the calculation first without recording a macro, then we shall do the same thing using a macro. So this is our plan. Let's find the average of the variable income. So we shall drag it until we have all values for the given firm. Let's say that is in this case we have values from E2 up to E14. So close it. Okay, now mean is a single value based on a series of value, so we cannot drag it like this. The reason is we have used a whole range for from Abbott, and if we drag it, we'll move on one cell into the next form. So if you can see, when I dragged it down, we left the first cell, but we added another cell, that is we added Epson in this case. So dragging is not an option in this scenario. Now the mean for all these cells will remain the same. Since mean is a single value, it will remain the same. So what I have done, copy the first value and paste it special as values. So this mean value remains almost constant within Abbott. In this whole range, the mean value remains constant. So these were the steps that we performed. First of all, we started with an active cell. We applied the formula of average in it and found the mean of income from year 1996 up to 2008, and then we copied this value, highlighted the remaining cells in this form, and paste it special as value. And then as a last step, we will activate our next cell where we shall calculate the mean for the next company, that is Epson. So this is the setup that we shall follow in applying a macro. We want to perform all these steps using a macro, and it will reduce the amount of clicks and copy pasting. So let's see how we can do this. And mind you, this, since we want to record the calculations in one place and apply it in another place, this is an example of a relative macro. So I go into a developer tab and I activate the relative reference, and then I record a macro. I call this macro find mean. And I'm applying a shortcut of Control Q. And before I click OK, make sure that the appropriate cell is activated. In our case, the appropriate cell would be the first cell of the company, or we can say of the next company. So the first cell of Epson is already activated, that is H15. So we are good to go. Click OK, and now those steps will be repeated which we did before recording this macro. So equal to average of income. So it will be from here until we have all the values for this company. Enter, and now copy, select all these cells, paste as values, and activate the cell for the next company, and then we shall stop recording. Now your data might not be a balanced data, so some of manual tweaks would be required. For example, if a company doesn't have observations from 1996 up to 2008, we have a total of 13 observations. Some companies might not have 13 observations, so in that case the average would not be accurate. So we need to take care of that factor. So whenever we do our calculation, we have to take care of that factor. So let me apply the macro here. First macro, I would like to apply it manually. So I'm going to the macros and make sure that the appropriate cell is selected, and then click run. So you can see that if the active cell is for a new company, it means that our calculations were correct, and we had almost 13 observation for that company. If the active cell is for the second or third observation, it means we have some missing value and we need to delete those calculations and do it manually. So the macro would work only we have 13 observations. Now this time I am pressing Ctrl Q, and we have, as you can see, the active cell in front of a new company. So that is good. Ctrl Q. Again, we have active cell in front of a new company. This is Adam, and it's good. Ctrl Q, Ctrl Q, Ctrl Q. So you can keep on pressing it, and it will find the mean for these companies. Okay, I have used conditional formatting to highlight year 1996, so it tells us that we have a new company. Okay, so here you can see that 1996 is okay, but we don't have a new company here. A and T start from observation 334. So in such cases where we do not have enough observations, let's see from where we had this problem. So it is way before. Yeah, it's okay till here. Then we have Alvin. Okay, that's good. And the problem started with Alvin. So the problem started with Alvin. So all other calculation in this series are not okay. So I'm deleting them. Okay, so I'm leaving Alvin empty, and I'll start with new company here. So I'm activating this cell now, and let's see, Control Q, and we have a new company, that is LQT, good, AQTM, good, LTN, good, and we have a new blank company, ASML, NT. So the problem started with Alvin, which we had to manually remove, and then we resumed the calculation with macro. So this is how you can go on use a macro in a panel data, specifically if the panel data is unbalanced. Unbalanced means some of the firms do not have enough observation or equal number of observations. Some of them have less than the observation that other companies have. Okay, so I would like you to find the mean for all companies in this way. Similarly, I would like you to find standard deviation of the variable income in this way. And finally, I would like that you find coefficient of variation. And you will feel that we do not need macro for coefficient of variation, but we shall see that in the later stage. For time being, I would appreciate if you can complete the mean of income with a macro and standard deviation, and then we shall come back for the coefficient of variation. So I'm giving you some time to practice, and then we shall resume. Thank you.